My mother has always been into health food. So that meant when we had grilled cheese growing up, which wasn't often, it was made with a whole grain bread and a nice aged cheddar or Gruyere. Now, at the time, I did not appreciate those flavors, but as I've gotten older, I've come to love a good cheese on a good piece of toast. But the thing about making a nice grilled cheese like that is that those good cheeses that are aged, they don't melt well. They separate, they get greasy, and they get a little grainy. So the key to using a good cheese, like an aged Gruyere, which we're gonna do today, is to add another melting cheese. And if you're gonna use a nice Gruyere, you might as well use a nice hunk of brie, which is gonna melt really well and make that creamy consistency. Now, the trick is we're gonna make a paste with these two cheeses using the food processor. So I have 7 ounces of Gruyere, and to this we're just gonna add about 2 ounces of brie. And of course, you don't wanna include that rind because that's not gonna blend well or taste as good. So a hunk this size is about 2 ounces. Put that right in the food processor. Now on to the Gruyere. Now you could use a nice aged cheddar here too, but I love Gruyere. It is one of my favorites in this sandwich. And obviously we're gonna cut this up into some nice chunks before we try to process it into a paste, just to make the processing go a bit easier. It's taking a little bit of willpower, not just to snack on this cheese right now. It smells really good, but it's worth waiting for. So we're gonna put all this into the food processor, and I have one more trick up my sleeve for making a really good grilled cheese sandwich. It's really meant for adults, and that's we're gonna add a little wine or vermouth. It just elevates the flavors of the cheese and adds a little kick. So we're just gonna add 2 tablespoons. I really enjoy using vermouth because the vermouth has a little bit of an herby flavor that goes really nicely with the Gruyere. All right, so we're gonna let this rip for about 20-30 seconds, again, until it's a nice smooth paste. Ooh, that looks good. You can see it's a nice spreadable consistency, and the 2 cheeses have been nicely incorporated. Now to this, I'm just gonna add a few chives. I'm gonna give them a quick chop, and then just add them to the food processor just to incorporate them. It takes about 4 or 5 pulses. Oh, that smells good already. It's tempting just to spread this on a nice toast point, but it's worth waiting for the sandwich, let me tell you. All right, we're gonna set this aside. We're gonna focus on the bread and the butter that we're gonna spread on the sandwiches to help them brown. We're not just gonna use plain butter. We're gonna add a little mustard. Again, it just adds a little more flavor. So I'm gonna take 3 tablespoons of softened butter. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of Dijon. And we're just gonna mash this together. And this just makes a simple Dijon butter. Now it's time to talk about bread. The thing I love about this recipe is you can use any kind of bread you darn want. So if you want to use multi-grain, go for it. You want to use a white bread, go for it. I am going to use rye because I love the flavor of the rye with the chives and the Gruyere. So we have 8 slices here because we're making 4 sandwiches. We're going to butter the bread, and it's better to butter the bread than the skillet because that ensures that the sandwiches get evenly brown as they cook. All right, so everyone gets a little butter. You want to make sure you butter the whole slice of bread right to the edges. All right, butter's on. Now I'm going to flip half the slices over and we're going to add the cheese paste. Almost looks like mashed potatoes, doesn't it? And again, I'm just going to spread this cheese out evenly, edge to edge. Ooh, that is a good smelling cheese blend. Ooh, the cheese is evenly on the bread, and now it's time to top it with that second piece of buttered bread, buttered side up. Time to start cooking these sandwiches, and we're gonna use a 12-inch non-stick skillet that's been heating up over medium heat for 2 minutes. And you know the skillet's hot when you take a little bit of water and you sprinkle it in the pan, and the water sizzles like that. Good hot pan. All right, in go 2 of the sandwiches. We're gonna cook them 2 at a time. So these sandwiches are gonna cook for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side till they're nice and golden. The cheese is melty. Ooh, these are beautiful. All right, ready? Oh, goodness. Those are picture perfect. And that's what you get when you butter the bread, not the pan. All right, another 3 to 4 minutes on this side and they'll be good to go. All right, so these sandwiches look pretty good and toasty. Time to take them out of the pan. I'm gonna put them on a wire rack and I'm gonna keep them warm in an oven while I cook the other 2 sandwiches. The sandwiches are done and it's time to have a taste. Oh, that browning is so perfect. Oh, look at that. All right, enough looking. That is a grown-up grilled cheese right there. The Gruyère, that creamy brie, a little bit of wine and the chives. I don't think my daughter would like this, so I'm gonna have to eat hers. If you wanna make grilled cheese for grown-ups, use 2 cheeses. Butter the bread, not the pan, and heat up the 12-inch nonstick skillet over medium heat for 2 minutes before cooking. From America's Test Kitchen at Home, the ultimate recipe for grown-up grilled cheese sandwiches. Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think?
Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello.
You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
I'll see you later.